Hi, I'm Noah Howard,
I'm Ethan Bose.
I'm Mason Jane.
and now today we have our game. So this game is a 2D shooter that features our favorite character from the Mario franchise, Waluigi. So let's go ahead and get right into it.
So on the screen we have Waluigi's Fortune. We have both a start and a stop button, and it shows our instructions on the bottom on how to play. It's WASD to move, space to shoot, and you aim with your mouse cursor. So if Noah presses stop, it stops the game like it's supposed to. And if he goes into the game and presses start, he'll start the game. And this is wave 1 out of what is 5. For the bricks, you can see he can move around and the enemies follow him. He can shoot coins at the enemies, and they follow his mouse cursor. And if he runs into one of the bricks, he dies. And so on the instructions for the game over screen, it shows press R to restart, so then you can restart, go into the start screen, and play again. Very easily playable. We also have a scoreboard in the top left of the screen to show what wave you're on, and each wave that passes, more enemies spawn. So, yeah, we're going to have Noah get to past wave 5, and then we can show our special feature. I really love Waluigi.
Don't we all?
Such a beautiful terrain.
Grassy
But you can
fields.
see each wave that passes, the 4 new enemies get added to the field. So, yeah, and here's 5 from each side.
It's a little bit
It's the
difficult from here.
hardest one with the regular brick enemies. And now here are our bosses. We have 3 final bosses. Each of them thwomps. They have more health, and they move slower than the actual other ones, than the other enemies. See, one of them just died. And, well, he beat both of them at the same time. And so here's our end screen, our beautiful end screen with instructions at the bottom that says press R to restart, so it's easily playable.
Yep, right back.
Right back to the beginning.
And we will go ahead and stop it for now. It's a good playtest. I will now go through what code I have individually made. So my main code inputs were for the player. I have written all of this player, including getting the bullets in here and everything. I have also written the enemy class, so I could blit the enemy and the player at first and just get them to follow each other around. That was my big job.
You'll go next.
So, pretty much my main functionality of this was the scoreboard, start menu, and creating a button that allows you to start and quit the game. So, start menu here, or button, basically, I needed an image. So, what I've done is I have created a little 8-bit buttons here. So these are handcrafted by me on some random website I found. Basically, was able to just input it in just like that, which is really nice. And scoreboard, simply just a little functionality scoreboard. It goes up each wave after all the enemies are defeated. It was in the top left, if you didn't notice. Then I created the, where was it? Start menu. Start menu, obviously, for the start button, stop button, had the directions on it, title, pretty much all of that stuff right before you play the game. So that was my main functionalities of the game.
Hey guys, so I made the boss and the boss fleet and the enemy fleet classes. So I came to the group and decided I think we need to make this game a little more difficult. So we added the boss and the boss fleet. The boss I decided to model after the enemy class, which had some good stuff in it, and I decided to make the boss bigger. Like I think it's 5 times bigger than the enemies, and they would be excuse me, they would be slower and they would have more health, and they move the same as the enemy class, and they're drawn and hit the same by the bullets. The boss fleet is similar to the enemy fleet class, as it just makes an array of bosses or an array of enemies for the enemy fleet class, where if that array list is empty, or if that sequence list is empty, the game is beaten. And the boss fleet and the enemy fleet class are being drawn the same. And in the enemy fleet class, you can see right here how the amount of waves affect the amount of enemies that appear on the screen. So, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so now we'll get on to what grade I feel like we deserve on this project. I feel like with the work that I put in, this is definitely an A kind of grade for me. There was a lot of challenge in getting one, the enemies to actually follow you. That's a lot of math that you don't usually think about, and also getting the bullets to go where you want them to go. But I think maybe the most challenging thing for me, and what I learned most from, was having the enemies delete themselves after getting hit by the bullet, which I couldn't figure out for the longest time. But eventually I did figure it out, and I'm very proud of myself for that. Um, I think that is about it for me.
For the grade, I think we deserve. I also think, like Noah said, we deserve an A. This was a fairly interesting project that we decided to come up with, and I really like the game design that we did. For me, this start menu was the most challenging thing by far. Took me a long time to figure out and implement. Uh, we even have the ending start menu, which took a bit to figure out. But I really enjoyed learning about how you could create a button out of just some random image that you pulled up from the internet. Like, I just found that to be really fun. But yeah, I think this was definitely more of a challenge um, from my part. Um, but I also really enjoyed it and had a lot of fun. It was definitely, uh, a good learning opportunity. So,
Excuse me. I feel like the grade that we should have gotten on this project is an A plus, because of the amount of effort that we put into this project is substantial. In one, the amount of classes we made for this project. Two, I feel the quality of the project itself is actually pretty decent, and I feel a challenge that I had to overcome is definitely deciding that the enemies should be in a sequence. So then, that if that sequence is empty, that means the game is over. Because following in the loop of each of the run one cycle, um, deciding when the game would be finished was a hard thing for me to decide. So, yeah, A plus.